This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is Alex, and this is the Ramble, and we'll try it one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Oh, the beard and everything. Boy, I don't even recognize you.
It hasn't really grown much in 2 weeks, has it? Since last I've been here. Pretty much look the same. In fact, I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore 2 weeks ago.
Can I ask you a question? Now, because I've had this forever, right?
Had what?
The beard.
Yeah, right.
The facial hair. What is it? Ever since David Letterman grew that beard, all these people are growing beards now. He started a trend.
Probably because it's very convenient. It's way easier than shaving all the time. I mean, even doing something like this is easy. This is a few days growth on the side, and it still looks pretty clean compared to this.
Oh, I let this go.
It's very easy to take care of.
Yeah, I let this go a week. It doesn't show up,
Well, it's great.
But
that's why people have the beard.
The only thing that bothers me about the beard is when I'm trying to sleep at night, sometimes, gets in the way.
You start drooling all over it?
No, it just kind of it gets itchy. Gets kind of like...
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, you don't?
Nor with the hair. No.
No? Really? How does your wife feel about the beard?
Does not like it at all.
Good. That's why you did it, right?
No, that's not why I did it. And, that she didn't like the long hair either. And I didn't cut it because she didn't like it. And I respect what she likes and doesn't like, but it's really not her choice. And I don't do it because she wants it done. I'm going to leave it. I'm not being spiteful or anything like that. When it suits me to cut it, I'll cut it. When I like it grown, I like it grown. That's all. Yeah. In fact, we went on a cruise at the end of last year, and we got off. The ship stopped in Nassau, and I'd been to Nassau before, and there's nothing there but souvenir shops. And I said, well, I'm not getting off the ship there or in Jamaica. I don't need to get off in those places. But I got off the ship in Nassau because I said, you know what? I could probably get a haircut today. I don't want to go on with this. And I just got off the ship, asked the guy at the end, where's the barber shop? He told me 2 blocks and over there. And I got a haircut and got back on the ship. When I feel like doing it, I feel like doing it.
You know how I get my haircuts?
Your wife?
Marjorie. Yeah.
Yeah, good. And how is she doing, by the way? I forgot to ask last time I was here.
She's still a pain in the ass.
No, that's not right. That's not right.
No, she's fine.
Good.
I mean, she's probably healthier than I am. I've been having.
She's still working?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Good.
No. Well, kind of. They're paying her not to come in. Okay, they're paying her.
I'll take.
Yeah, they're paying her about $2,000 a month not to come in.
That's a good job. So that's a very good job. I like that.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of like what's the thing they give you when you leave a job and they pay you a certain amount of money? It's what do they call it?
Severance. Severance. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Walking away money.
Severance. This is kind of a form of severance, but they're paying it out every month, So
wow,
it's really nice,
That's
very
good.
nice,
That's good.
Yeah.
And are you still getting paid by your old employer? No.
Do you realize we haven't been there for 8 years? Is it?
It's got to be longer than that. I think it's 10 years now.
10 years?
I think I was 50 when we got.
No, but we got out of there 2013, so it's 9 years. Well,
just 23. That's 10 years.
Is 23. Yeah, it's 10, but not quite yet.
Okay, in July it'll be 10 years.
Yeah. So I've been out of work for 10 years. So you worked a little bit here and there,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, didn't care for it.
Yeah, you were really happy at Fox, weren't you?
I never really had the chance to be happy at Fox. They told me to get lost, so I got lost.
Oh, okay.
They said I couldn't do the podcast on Gabnet.
Yeah.
The I think it was the first full day I was scheduled to start. And I said, why not? I said, all your hosts do podcasts on different networks. Well, we don't allow that. I said, well, what's my option? She said, well, you can't work here. I said, okay. See you.
And I always thought that was very nice of you. That was very loyal towards me, I think. You know.
Well, it was loyal towards me.
Well, also,
how do you tell me what I can and can't do, exactly. And yet your other people are doing exactly the same thing?
Yeah, and you're allowing other employees to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I mean, it was like, it was almost what was so chicken shit about it when you described it to me was as though they considered me competition.
I don't exactly know what it was. I don't know what the feeling was. It was very clinical. Well, you can't do that. It had nothing to do with where I was doing it or why I was doing it. It was just very, and the guy was very nice. My boss was very nice. He said, you can't do that. I said, well, then I'll see you later.
Well, he didn't decide that. Somebody higher up.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently he didn't decide it.
Yeah.
Because he hired me and he was very enthusiastic, and I was enthusiastic to start over there for about a day.
And then the guy you worked for did eventually die. Alan Combs.
The guy was supposed to work for, yeah.
Yeah.
He passed away, I think, within a year or two after.
Yeah, do you know he was nice enough to get in touch with me and say, you don't mind if I hire Albert Reynoso as a producer?
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's nice.
He didn't want to feel he was impinging upon me.
Well, he was a nice guy.
He was just a nice guy, really nice guy.
By all accounts, everybody I know that's dealt with him.
And I wrote back and I said, no, you know, he's very good at what he does. You'll just find he's terribly unpleasant.
Yeah, he's an unbelievably harsh
individual who, quite frankly, will drive you crazy. But hey, he does a good job. So,
yeah. He washes once in a while.
But he doesn't shave.
No, he doesn't shave. Not anymore.
Oh boy. So anyway, they're working on the apartment house here. They've been working on it for 2 years.
What, your building or your
the building, and they're pointing. You know what pointing
Oh
is.
yeah.
That's when they take all the stuff out between the bricks, and then they put new stuff in between the bricks, right? I have had breathing problems. It can't be. I looked up everything that could be wrong with me, and it's not bronchitis. Not any. I looked up everything. Everything's accompanied by a cough. I don't have a cough. But I'm feel tight, okay?
You're wheezing?
Not wheezing, but on the edge of wheezing, kind of. And it's, you know what it is? It's all the work they're doing out here. The dust is just incredible. You see them zipping along, taking out all this stuff in between the bricks, and it's just flying everywhere.
And why do you have your windows open?
I don't have my windows open, but this is an old building, and anything can come through those windows.
Oh.
I mean, it's just, I find that on weekends when they're not here, I get a little bit better. And then all of a sudden, Monday comes, terrible. Just terrible.
And what about on your long walks that you take? Does it provide relief for the symptoms that you have?
Yes, it does.
It does. Okay. So see, that's good. You're doing that. You're following that healthy lifestyle.
Well, no, not really. I take the long walk about once a week.
Once a week probably is not enough.
It's probably not enough.
You should be out there at least once a day.
But I don't think that, I don't think it's anything serious because it doesn't, I remember you had a thing about whether it's serious or not. If it doesn't bleed, there isn't blood, you're okay.
I said there's no need to go to the doctor if you have no pain or if there's no blood or any liquids coming out of places they shouldn't be coming out of.
Yeah.
But just to have something checked for the reason of having it checked, why do you think we have problems with insurance in this company?
I have this thing called a penis, and it leaks a couple of times a day. Do I need to have that looked at?
What is this? What part is this?
It's called a penis. and water comes out of it, and maybe that's liquid coming out of it. And should I see a doctor about that?
No, that's okay.
Oh,
that's okay.
All right.
Liquid coming out of places it shouldn't come out of.
Oh, shouldn't come out of.
Yeah,
I see.
right.
Okay.
That it should.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is the average day for Albert Reynoso in where's this? What's the name of your complex?
The name of my complex?
Is it Boca del Vista?
Inferiority is one name for it.
Because you remember Boca
Delusions of Grandeur is another name for it. Those are my complexes.
You remember Boca del Vista?
Yes. Del Boca Vista.
Del Boca Vista.
Del Boca Vista,
which,
yeah.
if you translate it, is view of the mouth.
Del Boca Vista. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
View of the mouth. That was on the Seinfeld thing. That's where the parents
That's right,
lived.
yeah. That's where the parents lived.
Del Boca Vista.
Jerry's parents.
Yeah. And
There's no real day for me. I get up when I want to get up.
Oh, wait a minute.
It could be anywhere from 7 o'clock to 8:30.
Yeah.
And then go to the gym at some point during the day. I don't go at a certain time every day because I don't like routine like that. Go to the supermarket, which I think is the greatest place in anybody's life is a supermarket. And I told you to watch the movie White Noise. Did you finish it, by the way?
No, I haven't been able to get through it yet.
Oh, too bad.
It starts out pretty boring.
Yeah, well, it's a slow movie, but there are some moments.
By the way, I saw it.
Particularly the end.
I saw a movie that was so terrible last week. We haven't been to a movie theater in 3 years, and we decided to go to a movie theater, and it was so bad.
Can't wait to hear which movie this was.
That we walked out after 2 hours.
Two hours it took you to walk out?
That should give you a hint.
That it's got to be a long movie.
Mm-hmm. And that would be? There's only one really long movie out right now.
I don't even know.
Avatar.
Oh, Avatar.
The Way
Really?
of Water. We walked out after 2 hours, yeah.
People thought it was great.
Not these people. We were bored. It was.
Did you have the glasses, the whole thing?
And I talked to Michael Snyder, my movie reviewer, and he said, well, it doesn't really get good till about 90 minutes in. And I went, that's too long to have to wait.
Good.
That's the amount of a short movie, okay?
Yeah.
That's a Netflix movie. If I have to wait 90 minutes for anything to happen, I'm sorry. And I really got depressed because I was looking forward to this. I was looking forward to the movie being good, and I was looking forward to the theater experience. By the way, the theater we went to, it is just, it's AMC, and it's shabby.
Oh, really?
Oh, the
The
seats.
comfy chair theater is no
The comfy chair
good?
theater now has cracks in the seats. I mean, there's stuff they should they should definitely upgrade. I mean, but the whole place just has this feeling of nothing. And then you buy popcorn, they don't fill it to the top anymore. You remember how it used to come?
Sure. Yeah.
No. And then when we went to fill up our sodas, there wasn't a top for the cup. I mean,
Wow.
come on, you just paid for the two of you $42 to get in.
Well, maybe if you go to a theater group that's not from China, then they'll treat you better.
AMC isn't from China.
I believe it's owned by a Chinese company.
Oh, is it really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Look in the Wikipedia. I think it is.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know if you remember, but not so far off, we had a thing called COVID, which completely destroyed the movie industry. Not only at the time that the movies were closed, but it changed the paradox. Not the paradox. The I can't remember words now. The paradigm.
The paradigm.
Changed the paradigm of how we consume entertainment.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no question about it.
And Netflix and even YouTube you can sit on for hours, but nobody goes to the theaters anymore.
Are you ready for this? Hold on to your collective seat. When we bought the tickets, because we bought them online and we chose our seats, right?
Yeah, right.
A convenience fee.
Of course, that's got to stop too. This convenience fee nonsense. And by the way, I'm starting to charge convenience fees as well on my own for people who solicit me for things. Yeah. Oh, can we come and talk to you about? Yes, absolutely. It's $20 to talk to me. That's a convenience fee. So you should do that as well. And I suggest that everybody spread that and charge a convenience fee for your time, because fuck these companies who are charging these convenience fees, which mean nothing.
Here's what galled me about the convenience fee, okay? And that is, you should be glad I come into your goddamn movie theater after COVID.
Exactly.
You should be doing everything you want to get me in there. Give me 25% off if I just order the tickets right now, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even go to the theater anymore because it's such a it was always
horrible.
A bad experience.
It was just horrible, and I was depressed for the next 24 hours. I was depressed because I had to walk out on a movie that I had been looking forward to, and I felt, I was just depressed about the general state of the theater and the convenience fee. And then you go onto their site, and they're trying to sell you the movie, by the way, to rent so you can watch it at home.
For what? It'll be on Netflix or Amazon or any one of those others.
Well, this one, Avatar, will be on Disney Plus. I say within 3 months.
There you go. Why go to the theater? What is the point? Look behind you. You have that beautiful screen that says Gabnet on it. You can watch anything.
That's right. That's right. You don't need to go to the theater. The only reason I went to the theater was because I wanted to see it in 3D. Okay.
Don't you have a 3D TV?
Yes, but they're not making discs anymore in 3D. They're not.
Well, can't you download it in 3D?
No.
I'm sure you can.
No, you can't.
Somewhere.
No, you can't.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You know.
Well, I'll look around and see if it comes out in 3D.
But for instance, Wakanda Forever, which was a very popular film, which only came out about 2 months ago.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, this is the sequel to Black Panther.
Oh, I didn't care for Black Panther. Well, I turned it off.
Anyway, the point is that film, February 1st, it's on Disney Plus. Okay? You know. So Avatar, I say give it 3 months tops. It'll be on Amazon Plus. It may be on faster.
Probably, yeah.
You know?
Well, why not? Why go to the theater? I can't believe you
something.
Still
this is a film that could remain in the theaters because you can't get it in 3D at home. And so if you want it in 3D, you got to go to the theater. That's a good deal. You know, you make money both ways.
It's not a good deal if you don't want to go to a movie theater, which I don't.
I have no desire to go to a movie theater ever again. I said to Marjorie, I guess in our lifetime, that'll be the last time we ever go to a movie theater. And that's kind of one of the things that also made me sad because, there was something about movies. It was just wonderful. You go there and you're enjoying a film with a bunch of people, right? You're all enjoying it at the same time. There's an audience reaction, If it's a comedy, they're all laughing. Whatever.
I had that experience when I was a child going to Radio City when my parents took me there, and not much long after that, because always people screaming at the screen and sticky crap on the floor and people who are rude to you all over the place. Who needs it?
Well, you know why people are rude to you? Because what did you have then you don't have now? You probably won't even come up with it, but once I say it to you, you will go, oh, of course.
I have then that I don't have now.
Yeah, when you go to a movie theater.
I don't know.
They carried a flashlight, you remember?
Oh, yeah, right.
You had ushers.
Yes, you did.
And the ushers stood in the back of the theater, and if there was any noise going on in the theater, they would go down and they would tell people to knock it off. Okay?
That's right, they did.
You don't have ushers anymore. You're the usher. You're the guy who's got to say to the person in front of you, would you mind shutting up?
Can you believe an usher would have any response from anybody other than that?
Well, no. Ushers, for some reason, I think ushers...
These days?
Ushers carried with them a certain weight. I remember when I was a kid, especially, we had a big fear of the usher coming up to us and telling us to hold it down.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would have the same...
But we don't have ushers. You have to admit that,
They'd be threatened, I'm sure. by many of the patrons.
mean,
Turn that flashlight off. How dare you interrupt my movie?
Yeah, wait a minute. They take the flashlight and say, "Oh, there's a seat over there. Go have a seat." And they lead you to your seats.
Don't tell me where to sit. I'll sit wherever I want.
In fact, I don't know.
That's what you'll have now.
At Radio City Music Hall, the ushers were like an elite corps of military. They all lined up and they marched a little bit.
That part I don't remember.
Yeah, well, that was before your time. That was before your time.
Yeah.
But gee, as a kid, that must have been wonderful to go to Radio City Music Hall, though.
Oh, it was the best. This massive screen, this huge auditorium, and they'd show you this 2-hour movie, which was great. And then the curtains would open and a live show would come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All for one price. It was amazing.
Yeah. My father used to work in San Francisco as a musician, and he would work those theaters.
Yeah.
And they would do a show 3 times a day. Or no, not 3 times a day, excuse me, about 6 or 7 times a day.
Wow.
So he would get a job with, say, Spike Jones, who was the act that was playing in between the movie.
Right.
In fact, there were 2 movies. There was that, a companion feature, and then the stage show. And then Spike Jones would do 45 minutes, and then everybody would go out and come back a couple hours later, do another 45 minutes, then go back out and come back another couple hours and do another 45 minutes.
Well, you couldn't have that now because people can't sit still.
Oh,
they won't sit for a movie and then a show afterwards.
Hey,
they can't
I couldn't
sit
still for a 3-hour film, which is what Avatar is.
See?
And by the way, it didn't need to be that long. It could have been an hour shorter. And I'm sure the theaters aren't happy with a 3-hour movie because that means they can only show it several less times a day.
But they're not scared to hike up the price. They're not scared to say, well, this is a premium. They throw that word out. This is a premium presentation, so we're going to have to charge you a convenience fee
for watching. Yeah.
Oh
man. I get to this point where when I was a kid, I never had to put up with this. You go to the theater. It was 25 cents. You got a double feature. You got a cartoon. You got a newsreel, and you bought some Raisinets.
That sentimentality is it's misguided. I have to say.
What do you mean misguided?
It was not better back then. It was different back then, and I will say that nothing is better back then as it is now. Look what we have now. We can get any movie we want in our homes in great quality.
Yes, on a thing.
Stop it when we want. I don't have to pay a dime for it in most cases.
But how do you do that? What is the distribution method on that? It's called the internet, right? And the internet is the same thing that gives you robocalls, gives you all this, what do you call it? Identification theft. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful.
So you didn't have that in the old days when people
nobody stole my identity unless they stole my wallet.
And how many times has your identity been stolen?
Never.
Oh, well, then that kind of throws your argument out the window.
Well, I'm knocking on wood because, it could well be that now somebody's listening to this and going,
this is the same argument you gave when during one of the shows you said, well, and ditch diggers don't make any money. And I know because I know a ditch digger. You don't know a ditch digger. You never had a problem with identity theft. Come on.
No, well, I never could figure out why I was making in San Francisco $400,000 a year and a ditch digger wasn't. Because I wouldn't want that job.
But somebody does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as
why do I get paid that kind of money and a teacher gets paid shit?
Because as nutty as it sounds, it's 2 different skills. You have a different skill than
my skill was I created a skill that made other people money, so therefore I became valuable to them. Therefore, I could screw them on price.
That's the capitalist way. That's what we do. This is America. If I have something you want, I'm going to charge a lot of money for it.
I never considered myself a capitalist.
Well, that's capitalism right there.
Really?
That's how you make money. You make it valuable, and then you hold out for the highest price.
I just want the old days again, you
What
know.
you did.
where I went
The
down-
old days are no
But
better
I
than
went to the
today.
movies and I paid 25 cents and I got a
Yes,
cereal
yes,
and I
yes.
got a cartoon and I got a double feature, you know. Or if I went to the kiddie matinee,
Nixon was
you
the
gotta-
devil,
you gotta-
and Reagan was the devil, and everybody was the devil. Same devils as there are now.
Okay, well, I'm glad
Not
that
much
you feel
different.
The man with
Life
the-
is good, Alex. In spite of it all, life is
hey,
good.
listen, he's a man with a beard, and that means he's wise. Okay.
Definitely not.
Anyway,
But,
hey,
but I do have some logic and some opinions.
hey, this is great. I hope we can do this again.
Yes, we can. We can do it every 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, I will then get in touch with you in a couple of weeks, and we will do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to that which is Albert Reynoso.
Let's do it stoned next time.
Good.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, I got to turn on the lights. Nothing's going right tonight for me. Nothing is going right for me. I had a horrible thing happen at the very beginning of the show, which I won't get into. And then when we finally got on, I started the interview with Albert, and all of a sudden, I hear commercials and stuff like that running. I'm trying to figure out why that's happening. So then I stop everything except for the stream itself, and I go looking for it, and it turns out that I have a thing on here. The audio comes up on here through YouTube. And usually I have that muted, but it wasn't muted because over the weekend, I guess I changed one thing and another. And, again, you don't want to know how the bacon is made. You just want to eat the bacon. You don't want to see the pig get killed, okay? So I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but I'm apologizing. I'm apologizing to people who watched it live because they saw it go on and off and on and off. And, we... all through this whole thing. So if you're watching the replay of the stream, you're in for a real show, okay? And if you watch it on just the edited version that we do, where we actually cut out the commercials at the beginning and all of that, and do a wonderful job, okay? Then I think you won't notice that anything was wrong, except the show's a little shorter than usual. But anyway, we got it on. It happened. We were all here, and I guess I should be happy for that. But it's not a way to start the show, and you don't feel so good about the show when you can't get it all together. But anyway, there are a lot of people waiting to come on. I don't know why. I have no idea why they're waiting to come on. But we will. Let me get this there, okay? And then I push a button. And I admit them all. And I believe, I don't want him, okay? So let me get rid of Adam Solomon. Okay, I want to remove him. Okay, remove him. Okay, and then I will let everybody else in. All right? Don't report. Okay.
Feel so good about the show when
wait a minute. Now, Jeff, turn it down. Please, Jeff. Get rid of it.
But anyway, a lot of people waiting to come on. I don't know why. I have no idea why they're waiting.
Okay, are we all right now? Boy, if it isn't one thing, it's another tonight. God damn it. Oh.
Charlie, you have to stand up a little bit. We're cutting off part of your... Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, what does it say? Biceps come in... Wait a minute. In... But I don't... I can't see the whole thing. Turn forward. Go forward. Move. Turn yourself forward. Come to those who wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, it was worth it for that. Okay? So, all the trouble I went through to get the show on tonight. I wish it were, I wish it had been easier, but it wasn't. But
So why wouldn't you want to be called Jeff?
Hello.
Why wouldn't I want to be called Jeff? Listen, Adam, hold on a second. Adam, if you're calling, I don't want you. Okay? I don't want you. So don't call. Okay? Please. all right? Because I'm not going to pick you up, and you're just going to be waiting there, waiting to go on, and I don't want you to have to do that either. So I'm going to hit remove. I'm going to go that. And I'm going to go like that.
We only see you on YouTube, I think.
Oh, I see. Another thing I did wrong tonight.
Maybe that's what he's calling for, just to let you know.
Yeah, no, he's not. Okay.
Hmm.
There
So
we
Jack
are.
had all kinds of problems yesterday.
What?
The Jack had all kinds of problems yesterday.
How do I block Adam from even calling this show? Let me see here. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Tell him to go to the intersection.
I wonder if I can go here. No, I can't. I go admit.
Tell him you're on the 10. Yeah.
Let me see here. Anyway,
Yeah,
what
my
happened?
porn
What
star?
happened? What happened last night to Jack? What hasn't? What hasn't?
Well, we could all get on and talk to each other, but we could not. Jack could not talk to us.
Did you guys have your own show?
Yes.
I don't want that. I had that problem, and last night he had a problem with his computer, and we couldn't. It's just I really don't want to get into it.
YouTube, you have Stephen Kravitz's name on there too.
Do I have Stephen Kravitz's name?
It
on
looks
there?
like it's right next to my name, so I'm not Stephen Kravitz.
Wow, this shouldn't even be up. I thought I did away with it, but I guess I didn't. So here we go. Get rid of it. There we go. Is there
Okay,
anything else I can do wrong tonight? You know?
I think the show's over by now.
It's over by now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to get on Jack's show Monday at 8:00 because I was running late. Couldn't get on. It just rang and rang. So then last night I couldn't get on. It rang and rang. Called Charlie. Charlie said, Mike and I are on. Tried again. It rang about 20 times. Finally, Jack picked it up. We could all see and talk to each other except Jack. We could see Jack, and he could hear us, but we couldn't hear him.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I was having to try and solve that problem too. So, you know. And I wouldn't even tell you what happened tonight, you know, why I couldn't get on. But, yeah. And it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with somebody else. It just, you know, it's been a mess here.
Let's not mention Jeff by name.
Jeff?
No,
I thought it was funny when you first got on the show before you brought your guest on. You said, Jeff, stop calling me. Jeff, stop calling
Jeff
me.
was calling me on my phone.
Oh, now I get it.
Didn't you hear the phone constantly? Why were you calling me, Jeff?
I've been away for a week.
Wait a minute. Why did you just call me tonight while I started the show?
Oh shit! I didn't want to do that. Sorry, apologies.
What did you butt dial me?
Well, I did, but I was just hitting the wrong thing to get it started.
Yeah.
I was having a little computer problem.
Yeah. Well, he called me, and so that was a problem.
No, I'm sorry.
Having to deal with that, and then the beginning of the show didn't go on very well because we had some problems because I couldn't get it on because somebody was interrupting somebody was interrupting the signal to the encoder.
Really?
Okay, and that means that somebody else had their thing on. I won't name names.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But anyway, Jack should be on tonight, I think.
Fingers crossed.
You know, Adam, look, Adam, enough is enough already.
Change your name.
Shall I just put him on and tell him to go fuck himself?
He put on the chat too, let me in.
Listen.
Let me join. He put in the chat, let me join.
Let me join. Okay. See, he can't even hook himself in.
It's
See?
probably Phil Meyer.
Huh?
No.
Probably
I'm happy
Phil Meyer.
Phil's not on tonight. With all those documents, man, he'd be saying all these wrong things. It'd be
Come on,
That'd be
Adam.
great.
Come on, Adam. You know, this is
going once, going twice. Sorry, Adam, you had your chance, buddy.
Okay. That's it. Wait a minute. Where do I sign off here? Where do I get rid of him? Let me see. Remove. Okay, remove. Yeah, remove. There we go. Okay. And let me just you're close to your computer, aren't you, Charlie? Just type in there to Adam. Alex doesn't want you to call. There he is. Huh?
I think Brian's doing it.
Yeah, I'll put that in here. Don't
No, I did it nicely. So
call Adam.
Nicely for San Jose is like fuck off.
You're
that's East Side San Jose. I'm in the white area.
Whoa.
Here we go.
Why did you say sorry?
Don't call Adam. You're a pain in the ass. How's that? Is that nice enough?
Yeah, that's why I was sorry, Adam.
Is this somebody you know?
Huh? No, it's not anybody I know. It's just somebody. He called one night and it was like, hello, what is this all about?
geez.
And then he calls every night. And then one night he called and I waited and the show signed off and he was still there. So I went and talked to him and he said, oh, hi, I was trying to call in and I don't know, what is the show about? And I said, don't ever call me again.
That's right. Call Jack Bishop on Skype.
Yes, call Jack Bishop after I'm off. He finally saw. I will every day. What? He will
This
every
is
day.
Alex Bennett. I remember because this guy used to yell at me when I was a kid going to the breakfast with Bennett. So.
Did I yell at you? Really?
Yeah, I think so. But we liked it. We wanted a little attention from you. So.
Let me see.
Be there like at 5 a.m. waiting in line to be first.
I think it was a place where I can actually put somebody so they can't call the show.
Block? Can't you block? Well, okay.
Purgatory.
Purgatory. You can try every day. That you can, let me type in here.
Threatening.
You can try all you like.
Let me do your work for you, Alex.
Okay.
Get the joke going. There's a lot to talk about tonight.
Just say you can call all you want, but Alex is never going to answer your call.
Never going to accept.
Yeah, never going to accept your call.
In your life.
You gotta stop.
In your life. He says in your life forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just build the show. Okay, there's a lot to discuss.
In your life forever?
In your life forever, he means. Okay, get the show going. I'll deal with your dirty work, okay?
No, I'll get him thrown off of Zoom is what I'll do. What's his name? Adam Solomon. Here I go.
It sounds Jewish. Holy shit.
Yep, let's kill him.
Yeah.
Was he drunk like bathtub?
Yeah, no, if he keeps doing this, Adam, if you keep doing this, I can get a hold of Zoom and they can put you on a major timeout, okay? Then you'll never be able to use Zoom for the rest of your life, okay? Anyway.
I can tell you exactly what I want. That's what he said.
Let me join you so I can tell you exactly. You know something, you asshole? I just answered
my
you.
Ass.
I put you on and you couldn't even sign in, you jerk.
That's what Brian said, is that we tried, you wouldn't come on.
Let me join now. I mean it. Oh, are you threatening me? He's threatening me. Tell you what threats get people. Anyway, you may remember there was this long thing that went on with me for about 8 years, and that was fighting to get this apartment. All right? It was a big legal action. Cost Marjorie and I close to $110,000 in lawyers' fees.
Whoa.
Okay, over those 8 years. Well, that's only $10,000 a year. What the hell? Anyway, it's money we could have used for things like, I don't know, food, clothing, whatever. COVID tests, whatever. So we've been fighting this thing for years, and then finally we kind of got it over with because we came to an accommodation with the guy that had the apartment before us, which cost us about 75 grand. So now we're into this thing for 185 grand. All right. But still, the judge then says, as you may remember, that he looked at the whole situation and he made the judgment that this apartment should be rented out for $500.07 a month. Now this is, what are you doing?
Not that again.
Hey, listen, Alan, shut the fuck up and just listen, because you're going to hear something different now.
Okay.
Or don't you want to hear it?
I do want to hear it.
Because if you don't want to hear it, just sign off. But don't get asshole with me. All right? Okay. Oh, you tell him off, Josh. You're good at it. You know. Oh, Jesus.
I could have lived without another Jew joke tonight. I mean, you know.
Thank you.
I don't really know how everybody puts up with his obsession with Jewish people and Jewish names. I really can't understand that.
Yeah, well, it's probably because he's Jewish, and that's every reason for him not to like Jews.
That may be,
anyway.
Wears me out.
So you may remember that, so the last thing that happened was the judge made that thing. So we all knew that they could, if they wanted to, appeal that judgment. And we made a deal with them that if they appealed the judgment and they wound up that the rent was supposed to be higher, we would pay them the difference over the year. And I'm sitting here thinking, if they win an appeal, blah, blah, blah. Well, they made their appeal. We didn't know this. They made their appeal, and the appeals judge came back and said, no deal, the rent's still $500.07. And because this is the appeals court, this is pretty much the final judgment on this deal.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I now have 2,500 square feet of prime property that I'm renting in New York City for $500.07 a month. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I
Was that a little different for your?
$600?
Was that different? A different part of the story, Alan?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you're happy.
Sublet one of your bedrooms.
What?
You should sublet one of your bedrooms.
Listen, I don't want to do that. I said to Marjorie, I said, if we wanted to move to California and get a house, we could come back here every now and then. As long as we don't rent this thing out, it's ours.
Right.
And at $500 a month, I mean, that's that's Cheetos money.
Chump change.
That's chump change. So, I mean, it is the most amazing story in the world. And then I go online, and there's this guy on YouTube who does this thing about the cheapest apartment in New York, $650. And I'm going, okay. And then I look at the thing. Of course, it's a really small apartment. I mean, so small that if you wanted to change your mind, you have to go out in the hallway, And he goes there, and it's really small. And I'm going, gee, if he only knew what I'm getting for $500, So if that's the cheapest apartment in New York, would you say $500 is probably the cheapest apartment in New York?
Especially if you divide it by how many square feet. I'm sure that's how much per square foot. 2,500
square feet. So 500 into 2,500 is what? What is it? Let's see, 500. I don't know. I'm not good at this kind of stuff.
About 20 cents a square foot.
20 cents a square foot, is that it? Man, it's amazing.
My son's apartment in Brooklyn, he and his girlfriend are renting, is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it's $2,500 a month.
Yeah, and that's pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap, actually, for an apartment I think in Brooklyn now. Brooklyn's really gotten expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son's in Brooklyn now,
Yeah. How much is he paying? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but it's how much? 2,000?
Yeah. So
2,000.
Yeah.
And that's just one. That's a one-guyer.
A one-guyer.
One guy.
Nobody else.
Do they have that listed as one-guyer?
Yeah, I think that it's not big enough to have two people sleeping together.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's a one-bedroom.
It's a what?
It's a one-bedroom.
It's a one-bedroom. Okay.
Not like what you have.
Yeah, well, ours is only a 3-bedroom.
Yeah,
and a dining room and a living room and a huge kitchen and a pantry and 2 bathrooms and a foyer. The foyer is about as big as some people's bedroom in these apartments we're talking about. So, you know, it's pretty cool.
Isn't one of your bedrooms the studio though?
Well, this is one of the bedrooms. Yeah, this was the weirdest bedroom of them all. You know,
like long,
huh?
It's like a long bedroom.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a bedroom. You know.
Do the fireplaces work?
Oh yeah, we have 2 fireplaces.
And they run.
And back to back with each other. So, yeah. You know, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, I mean, I'm really happy about it. Marjorie says, well, let's not go tell this guy and have him put it out on YouTube because, I don't know, she's still worried they can do something about it. But they made the law, okay? You know, this is legally set now. And the guy, they can go back and reappeal, but the appeals judge will say no, according to my lawyer. My lawyer said, for all intents and purposes, you've got that apartment for $500.07 a month. You know, until 2 years have passed, and then they can raise it. But I think they can only raise rent in New York City by about 4% a year.
Mm-hmm.
So what's 4% of $500?
$20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not much.
Yeah. Will somebody write Adam and tell him that Alex said that after the show, he is going to get a hold of Zoom and have them ban you?
Yeah, I tried to be nice to him.
Yeah.
And then Foreman got into it with him too.
What did he say?
Well, Foreman didn't get into it with him. Adam got into it. So, anyways, but we got a lot to talk about. So let's get into the show.
Yeah. Let's talk about Adam for the whole rest of the show.
I'm glad Phil's not on because Phil would blow up this whole document situation. I mean, it doesn't look good for Biden, but it's not as bad.
No, it doesn't look bad for Biden. To begin with, there were less than 12 classified documents.
Yeah.
Okay, and the newest ones are even a smaller batch than that. Now compare that to Mar-a-Lago, which is 300 documents, 25 of which were top secret.
Right.
Compartmentalized.
It's not the same thing.
Phil would have blown it up. Phil would have said the same thing in 36 boxes.
In fact, if all of this, all the ones at Mar-a-Lago were just classified, I don't think they'd be making as big a deal about it as they are. You know, but it was because of these top secret ones that.
Plus, Trump took them deliberately.
Plus, when Trump was asked to turn them over, he didn't.
He said no.
Whereas Joe Biden voluntarily turned them over when they found out he had them.
Right.
You know.
Actually, Biden didn't even get involved. His attorneys contacted the archives, and the archives immediately came the next day and picked them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going through 36 boxes and all his personal stuff, and they opened one box and saw that. They closed it up right away, and they said, "What should we do?" And they said, "Call the archives right away."
Or have a fire.
Yeah. Yep. I'm putting Adam timeout on the chat page. So, but you know, I mean, the trouble is that the those documents, it isn't a big deal, okay? Not like it is with Trump, okay? I mean, let's face it. Let's be very honest. He wanted to use those to make some money off of them. Yeah. I think he wanted to sell them to the Russians or somebody like that.
Or Xi Jinping.
Or
blackmail, yeah. So
Saudis gave Jared $2 billion for something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, did you hear what the Republicans did their first day in Congress?
Yeah. Well, they passed.
They created that subcommittee that's going to investigate the investigators.
Yep.
You know, this country's got a lot of problems right now that need to be solved. Okay? And a lot of people are hurting, and a lot of people are suffering. And these people don't intend to solve any of those problems. All they want to know is what was in Hunter Biden's briefcase.
Laptop.
The laptop, yeah.
The second
That laptop has been destroyed and
kill
gone.
the ethics committee.
What?
The second thing the Republicans did was kill the ethics committee. There's no more ethics committee for the House.
Well, they don't have any ethics.
That's
They
right.
don't need it. It's good.
You know, I mean, come on, let's be honest. They're assholes. They really are.
And the Republicans in New York have asked Santos to resign.
Well, Santos. That's the other. You know, this Democratic House is just nothing but lots of stuff to kid about and make jokes about and have fun about. If it weren't that it was so goddamn serious, you know. What went on last week was just a travesty, just an absolute travesty. And this week now with Santos, what's his name, McCarthy, said, well, really, the people have spoken, so he should be allowed to stay.
Yeah, he said it had something to do with the Constitution. I don't see where lying about your campaign has anything to do with the Constitution.
Listen, I agree that his constituency voted him in, and quite frankly, since a congressman is supposed to do good by his constituency and vote in his constituency's needs and so on, and try and get money to come into the community and stuff like that, they should be forced to have Santos as their congressman. Okay,
Let me read. Can I read the list of stuff for Santos? So he lied on his high school resume, his college resume, worked at Goldman Sachs and Citicorp, which was false. In 9/11 claimed his mother's life. Mother fled socialism in Europe. Grandparents survived Holocaust. Lost employees at Pulse nightclub shooting. Had a nonprofit pet charity and claimed to be Jewish.
No, he's Jewish.
Yeah.
And he claims his name is Santos, which they say is not his real name.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know, so this is the kind of people that the Republicans think is a good idea. And McCarthy doesn't want to see him out. He says, people have spoken.
He needed him.
He doesn't.
His vote.
But he doesn't need him. And I'll tell you, well, actually, they can hold a new election there. Actually, what I think they should do is appoint a congressman from that district who's Republican. Just, you know, to be fair. Huh?
That's against the Constitution. The House has to be an elected by the people.
Oh, really? Oh.
Special election, they can hold it.
Well, if they hold another election in that part of the world, I don't think the Republican could possibly win, considering all that's gone on here, you know. So, but I mean,
the head of the Nassau County Republican Committee has asked him to resign.
The Republican committee up there, yeah.
Nassau County, yeah.
Well, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do any of that.
I had some hope for Gates when he was voting down McCarthy, but I guess McCarthy offered him some little girls.
No. What I think happened finally is they wanted an end to the pain, and Gates never voted for McCarthy. He voted present.
Voted present.
Yeah.
Present.
And
right.
I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene voted present as well. In other words,
so did Biggs, and the asshole from Arizona. They were voting for Donald Trump. They finally decided to vote present, and that's the only way that McCarthy got it.
Really? Oh, okay.
Because it's the number of votes cast, the plurality of the number of votes cast, half plus one of the votes cast. And if you vote present, then it's as if you're not there.
Yeah. So it you know, it was quite it's been quite a lot of fun with the Republicans.
They'll never get anything passed. They don't hold the supermajority. Nothing. They can't get all these people together to get a speaker. They'll never get anything passed.
And even if they do get something passed, it will then go to the Senate and be voted down. And even if it passes in the Senate by some quirk of fate or you know whatever, the president won't sign it. So you know
the first two bills were about abortion.
Yeah. And they lost. You know, they lost in most of these areas. The Republicans lost because of the issue of abortion. So why do they want to go back and do this to an issue that people don't want to. Oh, you know, this guy Adam is trying me on 2 different lines now.
Give him Jeff's phone number.
Give him Phil's.
Yeah.
Give him Phil's phone number.
Oh boy, this guy is. You know, I mean, he's maybe he just has no life. I guess.
Well, at least he didn't call in drunk like Bathtub did one night.
Well, yeah, Bathtub did call in drunk, but you
Yes, he
know,
did.
you should have heard this guy when I tried to talk to him the other night. He's worse than drunk. You know.
But when you talk to him, he doesn't know who you were or anything about the show, right?
No.
Yeah. So that's.
Man, let me block him once again from being on the whatever here. Put in user in timeout. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I can do? I can also hide user on this channel. Okay, I'll do it. Users' messages will be hidden. Okay. So don't mind to do something, Adam, because you're not going to be able to get your sleazy voice up there.
Yeah, all his stuff's wiped away.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy.
Gabnet's going to Holocaust you.
Yeah, right. So anyway.
Back to Santos.
Yes, back to Santos.
Thank you. Another nice guy.
Well, I mean, it's amazing that the Republicans should say, hey, you know, it's a bad thing that happened with Santos, and we agree with the Republican Party in Long Island, and we really should do something about this, or we should send it back to them and let them do what they're going to do with it.
And he's got criminal prosecution headed his way too.
Yes, because they say he may have illegally gotten funds for the campaign.
Yep.
He
Campaign
probably
finance violations.
He probably also signed federal documents to run, didn't he?
Yeah.
Relying on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's what's going on down in Brazil, which I call January 6th with subtitles.
Yeah.
You know, it's
We
January.
should send him
it's the
Santos
for-
because he was bouncing checks down there.
Yes.
You're
and
right.
other things.
You're right. You're
They're-
right.
They have a warrant for his arrest.
You know, there's a difference between what they did in Brazil to quell the riot and what we did here, and probably this is what we should have done.
Arrested them
They
all.
arrested 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
1,500.
1,500? Was it 1,500?
Right away.
1,500. Yeah, 1,500.
Yeah. Did you watch any of that, Josh?
The Brazilian
Yeah.
deal? No, not really. I haven't seen very much of it. I'm
Suppo-
aware of it, but I haven't really seen any footage.
supposedly, what's his name was involved in this riot, in this setting this whole thing up.
What's his name?
Bolsonaro's.
No.
Bolsonaro?
No, Bush. I mean, Trump's advisor. Whatever.
Trump's
Oh, Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon was
Bannon,
down there setting the whole thing up, telling him what to do,
Yeah.
how to do it.
The difference is they're not going to get 2 or 3 years. They're going to get life imprisonment there.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not going to. They're not going to play games like we are.
That's right. So it's really something what's happening down there. The only thing is, it looks prettier than ours because they're all wearing like yellow and blue, and it kind of looked pretty.
Isn't that the color of the flag? Yellow and
Yeah.
blue?
Green and yellow. Yeah.
Green and yellow. Is it green and yellow? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And blue pants. And I don't know where they all got the same costume. You know, I mean, we're going to show up tomorrow to riot against the country. All show up wearing the same outfit.
The Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys were coordinated, but nobody else was.
Right.
You know.
Actually, the Oath Keepers were coordinated too. They were all dressed in camo.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see him.
Hmm.
Yeah, all those guys are backpedaling on all their stuff.
Yeah. Now I can hardly wait. I'm the weekend's coming, and I'm just excited because I've been playing this video game for the last year that I just absolutely fell in love with because it has a plot line. Video games don't usually have a plot line. It's just people you know, you're shooting, killing
Wasting
people,
money.
and then you go into this thing, and there's a
Killing
little bit
zombies.
of plot, like we have to go find where the cave is or something like that, and then you shoot some more people and whatever. This game had a storyline, and it had a real good storyline, and so it came out in 2014. It's been sitting around for a couple of years. They came out with part 2 about a year ago, and HBO picked it up for a show. So HBO, it goes on Sunday night, and if it is as good as the game, and all the reviews I've read, Rotten Tomatoes, I went over there. Out of something like 64 people, only 2 people didn't like it. The rest were saying it may be one of the best television shows ever made.
What's the name?
Title.
It's called The Last of Us.
Oh.
And it's about this guy who, at the beginning of this zombie apocalypse, is with his daughter trying to escape, and they're approached by police, not zombies, but by police, who then shoot at them and kill the girl, kill his daughter. Immediately making the evil people in this not zombies, but people, human beings. And now what the game is that it's 20 years later, and he has been kind of working underground and making his money surreptitiously. And they ask him to take this little girl and take her across the country to this hospital that's in Seattle. And when he finds out why, it's because she is immune to the zombies, and they can make a vaccine out of her. And so it's this whole trip of he and the girl. Him initially hating the girl because his daughter died. He didn't want to get emotionally attached to anybody. And then the relationship that develops between the two of them. Now, if you can imagine this in a video game, that's what makes the video game so extraordinary. Yeah. And the reviews on this thing have just been stellar, and it starts on Sunday. So
Is it only available on the PS5?
the game is available only on the PS5, right? And the first one was also available in on the PS4 and on the PS3. Okay, so and then there was a PS5 version, which is like really cool look. It looks great. You know, it's the same exact game. The TV show, they say, is, the reviewers just said it's amazing. They can't believe how good it is. That if adults will enjoy it more than kids, they put it. You know, it looks to be a very good show. So that's worth my subscription to HBO, which I don't pay for because I get it through AT&T. So anyway,
you have to pay for the game.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, why wouldn't I have to pay for the game?
I don't know how PS5 works or PS.
Oh yeah, they nothing but free games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you pay $69 for the goddamn thing, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
This thing, when the first version of it sold 17 million copies.
Jeez.
Wow.
At $59 a pop, which it was at that time, that's a lot of money. And then the newest one, I don't know how many they've sold of the latest. They did a remastered version that's like really great looking, you know, and plays really well. And they're charging $69 for that, not $59 like the other one. And don't tell me that the biggest money today in show business aren't video games. I mean, this thing probably made almost over $1 billion. That's quite a haul, you know.
Does the game have the same title?
Yeah, The Last of Us. Yeah. Last of Us Part 1 is what they're doing this year, and then they're going to do Part 2 next year. Part 2 isn't as good as Part 1 was. Part 1 was just... There are moments in the game where you actually feel really depressed because characters you like get killed, you know? And it comes out of a clear blue sky, too. So it's a great game. But more than that, it's a great story, and I'm so happy that it's coming on. You know, now of course I know Marjorie won't like it, but you know, She's getting ready not to like it. So
Mm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Is the video of the pictures of the people, do they look like automated people, or they look like real people?
Actually, the stuff is really well done. You know, I saw a terrible movie this weekend. We walked out on it. We went to a theater and we walked out on a movie. What do you think we went to see that we walked out on? Any guesses?
The one
Avatar.
you were talking about.
Huh?
Avatar.
That's right.
Talk about it with Albert.
Albert. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about it with Albert. Yeah.
Almost everybody.
Avatar.
Oh, I'm psychic.
I'm sorry. That thing was so boring, even after 2 hours, or maybe an hour and 50 minutes, that we just couldn't stick with it. You know, life's too short. People say, well, it gets better after 2 hours. Well, if it gets better after 2 hours, you just wasted 2 fucking hours of my time. You know?
You could have been home playing your game.
When's the last time any of you have been to a movie? See?
I don't remember.
Don't.
Before COVID.
Theaters, what do you did, Charlie?
Yeah, for the first time in over 3 years, we finally went to see Jurassic World at the theater.
Yeah, with Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion. But I mean, and also, I mean, I said to Marjorie, I said, listen, we just wait like 3-4 weeks, and it's going to show up on Disney Plus anyway. You know, the only reason I wanted to see it in a theater was the 3D, and the 3D wasn't that good. It was kind of flat. It didn't pop out at you. So you know,
did the theater offer 3D?
What?
Did the theater offer 3D?
Yeah, of course. All the showings were in 3D.
I haven't been in a theater in 10 years.
Well, John Cameron is really a big proponent of 3D, so he made sure that almost every showing, I don't think they're doing any showing non-3D. But the theater was so icky and just, it was depressing. I was really depressed that night when I came home, because I'm looking forward to go back to a movie theater and, you know, do the whole thing. And the theater just is like dingy. The seats were cracking. These were those reclining seats, and they were cracking. And this was an AMC theater.
Did you sit in the senior center area? No. My roommate goes and
you're right, Josh. He does jokes about me being old, and he does jokes about you being young. You know, so we can assume by his demeanor that he's an ageist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't. I didn't even think of it as you being old, because my roommate's my age.
No, you said, was there a senior section?
Right, which is where my roommate goes, who's my age, and that's where my.
There's no such thing as a senior section in a movie theater.
The theater he goes to, he gets in for $2 if he sits way in the back.
Huh?
You can sit anywhere you want to sit.
Why would they put seniors in the back? They need glasses. They gotta go to the front. Come on.
I think they used to years ago in movie theaters have senior sections, but they don't anymore. And they were in the back, by the way.
Okay.
When they really should have been in the front, because we can't see as well. You know, it would make sense.
Oh, no.
And here comes, to end the show, our little... I got to show you something quickly. Adrian.
Uh-oh.
I didn't bring
Come up
this
here.
out.
Come up here.
Excuse me, folks. Gotta show
Grandpa
you this.
Alex.
Here they are. Wait a minute.
More
Hold on a
refrigerator
second. Let me
art.
just put my earphones on. I only got what I got, about 2 minutes here. Okay. Yeah. Let me see here. So anyway, let me see here. This is one picture from Adrian.
You get to see through it because of the green screen.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we got this one. Okay, wait a minute. Which way does this go?
There you go.
Happy
late birthday.
Happy late birthday. Okay. And finally, let me see here. Here we go for Hanukkah.
Come over to the other side.
Moving over a little bit more towards the
There you
camera.
go.
There we go for Hanukkah.
Hey, that looks good.
That's very good. Thank you, Adrian. I really appreciate it. And then I guess this is from both Brian and Adrian. Is this? What is this? This is a paperweight, isn't it?
Yeah,
A heart-shaped
it's,
paperweight.
Yeah, so it's we went to an art festival and they had these glass blown hearts, so it's all glitter and everything, and she wanted to get one for you. So
Yeah,
I got
very
one.
nice. Thank you so much, Adrian. I really appreciate it.
Hello. He said thank you.
Oh, I'm just thanking you. I'm thanking you because that's the nice thing to do. But I appreciate it. I'm going to hang this up on the door. I'm going to take down some of your older artwork and put this artwork up. But anyway,
No, bedtime.
let me put it down there.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's huh? Yeah. What time is it? Or we're
So you get
getting
there.
there.
They
Yeah.
look a lot alike.
What?
When she puts her face next to his, they look a lot alike.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was saying to Marjorie tonight, I said, and it's kind of strange, but we don't have any kids, but I feel like I kind of have a kid by proxy, I guess, watching her grow up, and I remember her when she was like really much younger and easier to get along with. But anyway. Hey, thank you, Adrian. I appreciate the gifts and everything. Okay, and Jeff, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to Vernon and Josh. You've been kind of quiet tonight, but there are those nights, right?
Yep.
Yep. When do you start going to work again?
Next week.
Next week. Okay, so we should probably have you here this week. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
next couple days.
Yeah, and Alan, thank you so much. Thank you to Charlie Wallace, and also thank you to Brian Neary. We really appreciate it. And Adrian, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll say wave goodbye at you. Okay, there they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel. Let me do this. Okay, there we go. So that's what it looks like. That's our show for tonight. Jack Bishop is next. He actually is going to be here, hopefully, with the intersection. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody. Have a nice evening.